cars. Also would quite like to make sure that they don't get cut off once they arrive there, so I'm going to attack these guys here with the infantry divisions I had that were also on their way to the capital previously. Hopefully the Georgians will muck in as well. Oh, I need a drink. Oh. I've been playing this probably for quite some time now. I've entirely lost track of time. This game is incredibly addictive. It's one of the few games I have previously stayed up all night from dawn till, well, from dusk till dawn, playing. Because once you get started with this, it's very difficult to stop sometimes. So yeah, we've got the Faintian Republic has been released again as a puppet, by the looks of things. Yeah, Japan's released them again as a puppet state, but they have kept some of the territory in the north of Manchuria for some reason. The Alash Orda guys have defeated us in Chelkar for some reason, which is not particularly great news, but I can reinforce that province fairly easily. And these guys, the Barricada Factory Design Bureau, have finished researching 1936 infantry. I could research 1939 infantry, and this will give me an opportunity to illustrate to you one of the other important points about research. I could, you see, research 1939 infantry division. The historical year for which, here it says, is 1939. The year is currently 1937, September 21st, 1937. So we would effectively be researching a technology which is 2 years into the future. Now, you get a fairly hefty penalty for doing that, as in the research goes much more slowly than it normally would if you research something which is ahead of its time, essentially. Also, my frame rate's screwing around a little bit, which may indicate that I'm running out of disk space, so no, I'm still good for disk space. I've still got a good 50 gigs or so left, so I don't know what it was doing. Right, so anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, so you get a penalty, basically, for researching something that's ahead of its time. So, but sometimes sticking with that penalty can be worth it just to get the technology slightly earlier than historically you normally would. In this case, however, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to research something else instead, I think. What that something else will be, I'm not entirely certain. In fact, I think it might be something tank-related or possibly aircraft-related. In fact, yeah, I'm going to upgrade our interceptors to Interceptor 1937. So we'll get one of our air-based technology guys working on it. So we've got Ilyushin Design Bureau. The creators of the legendary IL-2, Sturmovik, close attack aircraft. However, our best option, I think, is Semyon Levochkin, who has skill 8, which is huge. That's really advanced, and he has all 3 of his research types match the ones we need at the bottom, so we'll go with him. Russia doesn't get some particularly amazing aircraft research teams, but then again they're not too bad. Germany and Britain tend to get the best aircraft teams. New leader trait. Yeah, sometimes I'm going to actually disable these, have them appear in the game log instead. But yeah, your generals have different traits, like Desert Fox there, or Panzer Leader and stuff like that, which affects their performance in combat. In fact, we need to promote a few generals, actually, I've decided. Well, I would, once they're out of combat, because I've just noticed these guys over here fighting are actually getting a penalty for having too many units under the commander's command. So we actually need to promote a few guys, so we've got a few generals and field marshals knocking about for large-scale battles, which we currently don't. We mostly have major generals and lieutenant generals, which isn't particularly good news. However, at the moment, it's not such a big deal because we're still kicking ass in spite of it. So you guys can move down there, and you, yeah, there. How are all our troop movements looking? Quite nice, actually. Remembering the death of Vladimir Lenin. Today we remember, it's October the 5th, today we remember the death of the greatest socialist revolutionary the world has ever seen. Vladimir Ilyevich, I can't remember what his middle name is actually. The example he has shown to us will never be forgotten. National dissent is changed by -1%. Lenin is eternal, according to the box. I would beg to differ, but you know, it's just me. Also, yeah, our cavalry units, right, they've made some good progress. They'll soon be in Alma-Ata, but because they've been moving so far and for so long, their organisation is now at 0. Which means if they actually come into contact with enemy units, they're going to get defeated, like, instantly. Because organisation is essentially a measure of your combat performance as well as how long you can stay in combat. Right, defeat up here. That's a bit of a pain. What needs to happen really is these Georgians need to actually buck up their ideas and attack these guys down here. Because as it stands, they're literally just standing around doing basically nothing, which is quite annoying. I didn't invite you guys to an alliance just so you could stand around doing nothing. They have, however, moved their troops down there actually instead, which actually in hindsight is probably even better, because now it means I definitely won't get cut off from here with these guys who are very soon going to arrive in the capital. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, there we go. Right, the capital is ours. They only have a tiny pocket of the country left, and they're done for. We can now annex them. They've accepted our irresistible proposal of annexation. Perfect. And that is now once again part of Soviet Russia. Now, after we just have to deal with Turkestan, but that will come a little bit later. What I'm going to do in the meantime is reorganize all our troops on the border, give some get some reinforcements going, and that sort of thing, and yeah, just take a breather since we've already taken out Don Kuban and Alash Orda in the space of about 5 minutes. So, yeah. Also noticed at the top here, our industrial capacity is increased to 132, which is fantastic. That there is a product of both our sliders changing down here, as well as having annexed places like Don Kuban and the Alash Orda. So yeah, that's good news. Previously we were around 90, so we're increasing. We're still not quite there with Germany, who now have a total of 233. And France, who have 177. And America, who probably has some ungodly amount, yeah. Oh no, okay, well they actually only have 32. Which is bleeding terrible. But then again, I suppose civil war does that to you, so... War is still going on up here in Scandinavia. The Norwegians still refuse to admit defeat, and I think they might have almost taken Oslo back somehow. Sweden still has the upper hand, clearly, but they still haven't taken Narvik, and yeah, it's a bit of a mess, isn't it? There's one pocket of Norwegians down here, there's another pocket up here. Yeah, it's a shambles, really. Romania's still in a stalemate. Spain is kind of in a bit of a stalemate, but I think the anarchists are still gaining the upper hand a little bit. Their colonies seem to have changed hands at least a dozen times. And the Pacific states still haven't rejoined the USA, so I'm beginning to think maybe they never will. Which is alright by me. If it weakens the US, that's okay. Integration of Alash Orda. Areas of the former rebellious state of Alash Orda are now firmly integrated into our growing socialist motherland. Great! For the motherland! These are all now national provinces, and we get the full total of industrial capacity from them. However, we'll get a few more of those events like we got with the Don Kuban, where we have reclaimed Kazakh territory around the Aral Sea. We have examined factories in this territory. Unfortunately, we have to close some of them since the equipment is rather old and producing lines are far from our standards once again. So yeah. Again, not quite up to our standards, and it's just not going to happen. But on the whole, we have still increased. We've gone up to 140 industrial capacity now, which is good. But Projected limits exceeded. Several mines and factories have exceeded projected limits, and we've got some more extra bonus resources, which is brilliant news. Mother Russia is growing. Eastern Kazakhstan retaken. Yet again, another slight drop in industrial capacity as we close the factories, but again we're still up on the whole, which is good news. So yeah, our next targets, by the looks of things, will be Turkestan, possibly getting back some of the bits of Mongolia they've taken off us, or in fact may just annex the whole of Mongolia entirely, and then following that we may even have a go at taking Zhubei, Lianbang, Yuan down here. But my frame rate was playing around there again. But that's probably not massively likely. God, yeah, I have to keep stopping recording because the frame rate's just dying on me right now. I don't even know if it's recording properly or not, but yeah, it's probably a sign that it may be time to end this session soon, because I think my computer's memory is getting a bit clogged up by all this recording. So yeah, in fact I might just end it right now because that seems as good a place as any to do it. So yeah, this is how we're doing so far. We've just taken Don Kuban, we've taken the Alash Orda. The Soviet Republic is growing, and there are a whole bunch of civil wars still going on, and the world is still a mess, as we can clearly see. Oh yeah, how's China doing? They seem to be generally still holding their ground. The king is still holding their ground. I think they may have lost a couple of territories to the Japanese. Not entirely sure. The Germans still don't seem to have got involved at all, because their puppet down here, their little Chinese mega corporation, doesn't seem to have wanted to do anything yet. Yeah, half of China is controlled by Germany through this proxy corporation. It's a bit weird, but yeah, anyway. That's it from me for now. Join me next time where we continue to grow as great socialist motherland. We will probably bully Turkestan into submission or something. So yeah, anyway, ta-da for now, and see you again soon, comrades.